All right, welcome to the Red River Football Show. We'll wait for Vern and then we'll get started. Welcome everybody tonight. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Just waiting on Vern and we'll get started. Had a great show last night with Carrie Higby Chastain. What a wonderful show. Go check it out. It's still on my Facebook. It'll be uploaded to YouTube soon. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. We got the Red River Show tonight. Then we'll see what the week brings us. I've got some pretty cool surprises coming, so we'll see what's going on. We're just waiting on Vern, and we'll get going. If there's anything you'd like to say tonight, feel free to jump out and say it. Add your comments. Tell us if you believe us. Tell us if you think we're full of it. Let us know if you agree, disagree. Whatever the case may be, we'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions tonight. So, waiting on Vern and we'll get started. Hope everybody's enjoying your Thursday evening. The cold front that sort of came in. So we had a cold front for about a few hours, it felt like. And we're just waiting, and here we go. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Red River Football Show. I'm your host, Dash. This is your other host, Vern. And we're here to talk to you about Big 12 football, some other stuff, maybe some NFL, might crack some jokes. I don't know what the night will hold for us. But if we're cracking jokes, we're probably talking about OU football here coming up shortly. What a week. What a week. What a week in football. I don't know if I was impressed or depressed by my team.
So OU, like you said, we'll talk about them. OU's problem, man, is like we talked about against Tulane. You guys are playing down to your competition. You're making it interesting. Now, taking nothing away from Nebraska. Nebraska's defense, they made you earn it. But I think your defense, kept Nebraska in the game.
Yeah,
so
they dropped. They would drop what, 8? Drop 8
yeah.
and make them. They wanted them to pass it. They wanted them to beat them deep, and they couldn't. Now I give this. Let me ask you this: Is Lincoln Riley just holding his cards? Is he not opening the playbook yet? Listen, we got 2 running backs on scholarship. That's it. We only have 2 scholarship. That's Gray and that's Brooks.
Okay.
Is he holding back? Is he not opening the playbook? What is it? Is he just counting pitches for the running backs?
Lincoln Riley doesn't seem like he's a running coach. I just think he's what was his name? Steve Spurrier. He likes to throw the football. He likes to throw the football. Now he's not ignorant to the fact that he's in the Big 12 and he needs a running back. But he has not opened up the running game yet at all. And I mean, it's crazy because OU doesn't even have a receiver. Your highest receiver is number 5 in the Big 12. He's not even the top receiver as much as Spencer throws the ball. And Spencer isn't even the number 1 passing quarterback in it. That's what's his old buddy from Texas Tech, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
As far as running backs go, I mean, no, your guy isn't even on the board. They need to run the football, and that's
they need to run the football to open that deep pass up. We know West Virginia is a running team. That running back is a monster. And that is what he's going to try to do. That's what West Virginia is going to try to do. Come to Norman and try to run the ball down our throats.
Yeah.
Jalen Redmond is out for the next couple of games, so that hurts against West Virginia, and that hurts against Kansas State because that is our interior defensive lineman who's a run stopper. I don't know what we got. Defense kept us in the game. There against Nebraska with one of the – I'll hand it to him on the interception, but drop that ball. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful interception, but
that was the
field
best
position.
I've ever seen.
Most beautiful interception, but that field position killed us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, don't take anything away from the kid. It was a beautiful, but after that, our drive stalled. Had we drove on that, I think it wouldn't have been as close as it was, at least in my opinion.
Let me ask you this: if you take away the chance for these kids to get sponsors and things like that, do you think he drops that ball?
Oh, heck no. Listen, I am not going to – I think the NIL is the best thing since sliced bread to happen to these kids. So I am not going to argue. And again, I give him props. I've just, as a fan, not as a host tonight, not as a host, but as a fan during the game, I was like, damn, I wish he had dropped that. But it was beautiful. It's going to go down in history as one of the greatest interceptions of all time.
So I kind of, yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I have pros, college. That was the best interception I've seen. One-handed. I mean, dude was almost horizontal, like 3 feet off the ground. Doesn't get any better than that. But I asked myself after, because I hear everybody like, I wish he would have dropped the ball. I wish he would have dropped the ball. I'm like, this dude is looking for a isotoner, sponsorship, something. Somebody, some sticker. Somebody's got to get his.
You're in good hands. You're in good hands with Allstate. Just picked him up.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but I asked myself if he didn't have that opportunity, would he have thought more about field position and dropped the ball?
During the game, I don't know, man. I doubt it. I mean,
the pressure on these kids now is astronomical, because now for them, like all of the other guys in the business before them, it was a business and they were playing to get to the business. Now this is a business. So they got to make business decisions, and like, do I drop this thing? Do I catch this thing? I'm gonna catch this. I need that money. So.
As a host, as a non-biased host tonight, even though I am wearing OU, as a non-biased host, he made the right decision. He made a good interception, and I mean, again, it stopped the drive. It stopped Nebraska. It kind of put them on their heels for a minute, but I digress. Texas, however, what a comeback, or I don't want to say comeback. What an answer to the loss from the week before. What an answer.
Oh, yeah.
It was I mean, again, it was Rice. I'm not trying to say just because it was Rice, but it looked solid. I mean, they literally looked solid the entire. I couldn't see any. I didn't see any major problems. I mean, you're always going to have the hiccups, and you're always going to have, some missed blocks and things like that. But overall, just thought it was a fantastic game by Texas.
Yeah. It's one of those games they're supposed to win. But they had a flow and a confidence, that was missing when they played Arkansas. When they played Arkansas, the offense looked confused. You can tell they are more comfortable with that statesman back there, the guy that's been there, pulling the reins. So, and when you have that confidence in your offense, your defense is like, we can't be the only one that's, the offense can't be showing out, so we got to show out. So, I mean, you pitch a shutout to Rice. It's Rice, but 58-0 is still a good.
You're supposed to. You want it convincingly. It's not like it's like and again, and like I talked about on the show, Nebraska is a rivalry game. There's historically between these two teams, there's hardly ever been a blowout. Maybe 3 times that I can remember. 3 times. Every time they played each other, no matter what, no matter when or where or what was on who was down and who was up. Nebraska ran the 90s, ran the 90s, and OU was just, but they always played tough, except for one time they got blown up. Other than that, it was 10 points at most was the margin of victory. 10 points at the most, 3 being, the least. So they're always going to play tough. But you guys went in and Rice, and you won convincingly. You won a game convincingly.
Yep.
Everybody from the offense looked at Arkansas. It looked like once he started getting rattled, the dominoes fell. The line just started getting rattled. The running backs got rattled. The receivers got rattled. Then the defense got rattled. This game for Texas looked, just totally opposite. And like I said, we said last week, there's nothing to be down about. You still have a shot at the main goal, which is winning the Big 12, and then hoping and fighting for that third or fourth playoff spot. They still got a shot. That it looked really good, and so I give props, man. And I can never remember this quarterback's name, but he's a lot better, a lot smarter. And I'll remember his name here shortly. But just he looked a heck of a lot more comfortable, like you said.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go all Stephen A. Smith on you there for a second, but
no. Yeah, they look good. We'll talk about the power rankings and everything. It's hard to take off your fan hat, when you gotta put your team down. But the Big 12, lucky for Texas, the Big 12 is I'm not gonna say it's wide open. Every team has got some vulnerabilities this time. Yeah. It's not like, we know, OU is gonna win it, or we know OSU is gonna win it, but so we're playing for second place. It's not like that this year.
I count out 3 teams right now. 3 teams for sure do not have a shot. The other 7, if it's a good day, a good Saturday, good Friday, whatever it is for them, it's anybody's ball game right now. That's the way I see it. And like you said, we'll go over the power rankings. But OSU was not impressed. They went into Boise. I wasn't impressed. They made really good adjustments at halftime, but they just, here, Oklahoma State fans, do me a favor. Write a letter to the athletic director and tell Gundy to pack his bags and go to USC. That is the only way you guys are going to start being prominent again. Oklahoma State fans, do me a favor. Write that letter to the athletic director. That's the best thing that can happen to Oklahoma State right now is Gundy leaves.
Yeah, it's time for Gundy to go. They just don't seem like they want to play for him, but they don't want to get embarrassed. You know what I mean? It's like they're doing enough. And, when you've got that type of that lack of faith in your ultimate leader, it's time to make a leadership change. So
you can't tell me that this quarterback. That's why for this week's challenge, I made passing yards the tiebreaker for Oklahoma State. This dude threw 7 times. Now, granted, they run the ball and it was working, so don't quit it. But he threw the ball 7 times.
I guarantee you, he threw the ball more than that in warmups.
Yep, he did. He absolutely did. And the only reason they win is they get a good block, and that was a beautiful block.
Yeah.
On the kick, that was beautiful. Yep. That's the way they win it. If not, they're just. I just don't think Oklahoma. As much as people, I know they're 3-0, folks. I know they're 3-0, but it's just like OU's 3-0. It's sloppy. It is a sloppy 3-0. I am not impressed with Oklahoma. I'm not impressed with Oklahoma State. It's sloppy. Something needs to change. Something needs to change in this week, in these games. Something needs to change.
Talking about Oklahoma State sloppy. That's one of the things I highlighted. Oklahoma State has, their 3-0 record, like you said. You said it's sloppy. They have of total points, they have the smallest margin of victory. 72 points for, 59 points against. They have a 13-point margin That's in each one of those games. That's a touchdown. That's a few field goals. Like they could have easily lost every one of their games, and yeah, the score would be reversed. And it would be almost unrecognizable on the field. There'd be no difference in their play. They are 3-0 based off of luck.
Yeah, I agree. OU should be 1-2 right now, ladies and gentlemen. OU should be 1. I'm being hard again. I'm being hard on OU.
I think they should be 2-1. I think they should be 2-1. Nebraska took them to the line. So
one of Nebraska's offensive linemen drove one of our defensive linemen 40 yards down the field and slammed him. They threw a flag. You don't throw a flag on that because that shit's impressive. You don't throw a flag. That's impressive. That offensive lineman from Nebraska did his job and made us. If that's my lineman, he's running laps.
Somebody's looking for a bulldozer after that. I'm pretty sure Caterpillar signed him to it.
Yeah, that merciful Minerva. That was one of the most prettiest. Besides that interception, that was one of the most prettiest plays
and he didn't
I've
hold
ever
it.
seen on offense. But I'm getting all worked up over that. The rest of the West Virginia gets lucky with an interception there late against Virginia Tech. I'm not saying that they weren't going to win that. They kind of dominated earlier on, but Virginia Tech was making their comeback and almost won that game. They got another team that got lucky there at the end. 45 seconds left, and they got the interception, or they could have lost that game.
Yep.
That being said, they still look good. I am worried with them coming to Norman. I rarely ever say that. I rarely ever say when they go to Morgantown and play, I'm scared. When they come to Norman, I've always been, I think we pretty much got it. Their luck in Morgantown's pretty crappy, but West Virginia looked good. Brock Purdy got benched against UNLV because he was letting them back in the game. This kid, I don't know what happened to Brock Purdy. This kid was a phenomenon his freshman year, and every year he's just dropped. I mean, he had a decent year last year.
So do you think his problem is his offense has become too predictable? People know what he's going to do.
No, he's a turnover machine. His problem is turnovers. I'll say this. He's about 70% of the time he's on point, awesome. I love to watch this kid throw the ball. Love to watch his offensive prowess just take flight on the field. But there's 10% where you're like, I don't know what he's gonna do, and then there's 10% like, yep, he's gonna probably fumble here, and then there's 10% like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Where is your head at? And I don't know. You got a great offensive weapon in Breece Hall, and he's been just, I don't know what happened. It'll probably, when it'll sprout is when he takes on OU or Texas. That's when he'll look good because that's our teams and we can count on him to make him shine. But no, I don't know. I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled with the three top teams for the most part. Texas, Iowa State, and Oklahoma. I'm not real thrilled with them per se. 3 games in. Yeah, Texas had some stumble, but when I say impressed, these 3 teams were supposed to be putting shock and awe in the teams that they faced, and right now they're just kind of, I don't know. And that like I said, there's nothing there. This is the week they need to do it. This is the week those 3 teams really need to shine on the field for me to get back and say these 3 teams are going to dominate the Big 12.
Yeah. Because those are my top 3 teams as well. You can interchange Iowa State and Texas. OU is they're the #1 team in the Big 12 right now. Their defensive scheme though has got to They have to do something.
You might be surprised who my number one team is.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna say Iowa State.
Nope.
You think Texas is the number one team?
Nope.
No.
You want to go into the power rankings?
Let's go into the power rankings. Who you got?
All right. Who do you got at number 10? I bet we're both agreeable on number 10.
I got Kansas on number 10. Like, Kansas has a multitude of problems. They need to figure out an identity first.
Oh yeah, if it wasn't for their basketball team, they would be a Division II football. Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
They'd be better off playing North Dakota State, South Dakota State. Hell, they couldn't even go to what is it, the Sun Belt, because they got drubbed by Carolina. They would get drubbed by Appalachian State, Georgia Southern. They would get drubbed by all those teams. They're better off if it wasn't for their basketball team. They would be a better Division II team. But yeah, I agree with you. I got Kansas at number 10 too.
At my number 9, I got TCU. Now, my number 7 through 9, they could be anywhere. But
change, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll have the same 3 for 7 through 9. But I got TCU at number 9.
I right now have Texas Tech. I know they've won, but they're just not. It's not an impressive wins to me. And maybe I'm being too hard on the Big 12. Maybe I am. But there's just no impressive wins except for Kansas State, Stanford, really, and but because Texas should beat Rice. OU should beat Western Carolina and Tulane, and Oklahoma State should beat Southern Missouri State or whoever that was. But Texas Tech had a time with Stephen F. Austin. They had a time, so I like Texas Tech, but Matt Wells' face says it all when he's on the sideline and he looks like he's ready. He's like he knows his time in Lubbock is over. But that's just me. Yeah, I got Texas Tech at number 9.
Wow, that's a surprise. I got OSU at number 8.
I got Baylor at 8 right now, just because you played Kansas. You put up a lot of points on Kansas. Good for you, Baylor, for playing another Division II team and putting up. Baylor and Okie State for me were I bet you probably got Baylor number 7, or maybe I'm wrong, but I got Baylor and Okie State were kind of interchangeable. The only reason I say that is 7, like you said, 9, 8, 7 is just really kind of all the same number to me. Hasn't been impressive to me. So yeah, I got Baylor at number 8.
Yeah, I've got them at number 7.
All right, and I got, like I said, I got Okie State at number 7.
Which is you gotta. I'm waiting for Baylor to like you said. I'm waiting for Baylor to play somebody because points for and points against. They're it in the Big 12. They've got the most points for. They've got the least points against. But when
it's not signature wins.
Yeah.
It is not. It's not signature wins. It's not against. If Baylor do you think Baylor could have beat Tulane?
If Tulane played Baylor the way they played OU, then no.
Yeah.
But I don't see Tulane showing up in the emotional state that they were to play Baylor, like now. They had a lot going with, the displacement with the hurricane, like everything that was going on, all of that stuff, fear, panic, and pain, when you take those emotions into any situation, they can breed adrenaline, they can breed anger, they can breed desire. Like, hey, we need to do this for, our state, type emotion. If they were to play Baylor now, I don't think that they would have that, and I would give it to Baylor. I wouldn't give it to Baylor by a lot, but I would give it to Baylor.
What you got at number 6?
I've got West Virginia at number 6.
All right. I got
So,
TCU at number 6.
yeah. No, I had them at number 9.
Yeah, that's where I think we're kind of different a little bit.
Yeah.
And somebody wants to say hello. She didn't get on the other night. She wants to say hello. Say hi. Hi, Vern. Can you say go?
You have to help Daddy pick a new hat, okay? I'll send him one that he can put on.
Say bye, Rennie. Oh Lord. Okay. I'm basing it off Gary Patterson alone right now.
Okay.
I'm basing off Gary Patterson. I'm not thrilled with them at TCU at number 6, but I'm not so disillusioned that I think they're going to lose a lot of ball games. I could be wrong. I could be way wrong. I just think they're middle of the road, and right now, just going for it. That's kind of where I see it right now. Is 6.
Yeah. I mean.
What do you got? You got West Virginia at 6?
Yeah, I got West Virginia at 6. I got Texas Tech at 5.
I got West Virginia at 5, and again, I'm basing it purely off that run game right now.
Okay.
Until they show me some, I know what they got points for, and I know they played, like we talked about, they played MIT and Juilliard last week, and before they played Virginia Tech, and
Time I hear Juilliard, I feel like violins and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm basing it solely right now off of the running game that they got, and it's a really good running game. And I think that this is just power rankings through the first weeks, guys, the first 3 games.
Yep.
And he showed me a lot. This weekend could change power rankings just like that, because we are getting into conference play. Yeah, I got West Virginia. Probably being a little homerish there because of my mom's side of the family. Love you guys. No, and like I said, this is the first time I'm scared when West Virginia coming into Norman that OU could be upset.
Yeah. They do run the ball a lot. That creates a ball possession.
You want to beat OU. You want to beat OU. Hold the ball as long. Army did it a couple of years ago. Almost beat them. Hold the ball. That is how you beat OU.
Yeah, because your defense, they've had a hard time getting off the field this year.
Yeah, the longer that defense at OU is on the field, the more points they're going to give up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if you hold the ball most of the time, even a couple of field goals will win the game for you.
Yep.
So.
Who you got at number 4?
So at number 4, I've got KSU.
Okay.
So that's where I got Kansas at number 4, Kansas State U.
All right, I got Iowa State, and that's because Brock, again, the turnover, and he hasn't shown me anything. And if your star quarterback gets benched 2 weeks in a row, benched against Iowa, benched against UNLV, it's not benched against Texas or OU.
Yeah.
You're benched against UNLV because you almost turned around and gave them the game.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I dropped Iowa State down to number 4. And until they can improve on the offensive side of the ball and hold on to it, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to raise right now. All right, what you got at number 3?
I got those Longhorns at number 3.
Agreed.
I got my Longhorns at number 3. Yeah, I mean, they should have beat Arkansas. I'm kind of, hindsight being 2020, and after seeing last week, I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I think they made the smarter choice at quarterback based off of that. And I mean, you know, you have a tune-up game. You know, they bring this guy back, and it's against Rice, and they just blow the doors off of him. So yeah,
If
I think
if Texas beats Arkansas, you're the number one team in the Big 12 right now by far.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, who do you got at number 2?
Got Iowa State at number 2. They just they're consistent. Yeah, you got the turnover problems, but as far as if he's not turning the ball over the way he is, Iowa is the most complete team right now in the Big 12.
I agree. I still think they lose to Iowa, to the Hawkeyes. I still think they lose that game. Even with if he plays on point, I think they still lose that game. Iowa's just the better team in Iowa right now, better than Iowa State. But Iowa State historically plays really bad at the beginning of the season. They always drop one here or there that they should not drop. OU, the same way. There's always one they should not drop. But that's why I have OU number 2. Right now I have OU at number 2. I'm waiting. I don't know if Spencer and Lincoln Riley are not on the same page. I don't know if the receivers and Spencer are on the same page. Listen, like I said in my show the other night, I know Spencer's cocky. He's not Baker.
No.
He's not Jalen. He's not Murray. He's none of those. Heck, he's not even Jason White and Sam Bradford and any of those kids. If you watched, what was it, the one on Netflix, I'll think of the show here in a minute. He was on it. He was a jerk in that show as well.
My Last Chance U?
No, it wasn't Last Chance U. It was the one about the high school quarterbacks. I think it was. You know what I'm talking? I can't remember the name of it either.
I can't remember the name.
But he was on that, and he was cocky, and you know what? But it works. It works for him. And no, if you're a Sooner fan, you're out there watching. No, I don't think the NIL has anything to do with this. Okay, what I think, and this goes for 1 through 130 teams in the NCAA. This goes from 1 to 130. These kids did not get a full 18 months with each other. Yeah, they got some games last year. I got it. But you're going to tell me you're going to get chemistry through spring ball, through one game in spring? No. All of these COVID, what's the word I'm looking for? Restrictions and things that they got in place right now has hurt Ohio State. It's hurt Clemson. There's a lot more closer games, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but there's a lot more closer games this year. Have you noticed that? From big powerhouse teams. So I know our fans, your fan base, my fan base is used to blowing out, hanging half 100 on teams, and walking away with their heads held high with the second stringers and the third stringers in the game. I get it. But the restrictions have hurt a lot of these teams, and I think it's hurt OU. I think it's hurt Texas. I think it's hurt Ohio State. I think it's hurt Clemson. It's for sure hurt Florida State and Miami.
Yeah. Well, then you had the guys who play last year.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm sure you got OU at number 1.
Yeah.
I right now have Kansas State at number 1 because of the signature, a couple better signature wins than OU has right now. They just look really, really good on the field, and that's where I have them. They played the most. I mean, to me, anyways. This is all opinionated, folks. Like I said, I'm a guy who sits in his chair in air conditioning and watches football games. All right. I'm just this is strictly from my observation. So, but to me, they seem like the most well-rounded right now. They do have an injury at quarterback. I got it. But their backup came in and they looked pretty good too. So as of right now, I have them as the most well-rounded team.
My only problem with them is just the folks they played. I think they need that challenge team. You know, that just something, just that marker, that bar team. Like, where are we at?
I
Because
sure as heck don't think they're going to get it this weekend.
no, that's nope.
Their first test is probably in 2 weeks with Oklahoma, but
Yeah, they get ready to run through the gauntlet. I mean, because they're going to play Oklahoma, Iowa, Texas Tech, and then TCU.
And with their starting quarter, I think the last report that I read, Kansas State's starting quarterback is out at least until either Iowa State or Texas Tech. I don't know how that bodes for any other teams. I mean, OU.
Yeah.
I don't know how it bodes for them, but right now, if I had to give the Big 12 as a whole a grade, I grade them at a B minus, maybe a C. But just because right now they just look mediocre. Oklahoma and Iowa State and Texas are not the teams that got hyped up at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
They are not those teams. Like I said, I'm impressed with Kansas State. I'm impressed with West Virginia. But again, we're getting ready to roll into conference play this week, folks. Some teams are in conference play, some are not. But we're getting ready to go over those. So there's my ESPN little slide in thing there. We got the Big 12 games of the week. We're going to start with Texas Tech at Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Texas.
Yeah.
That's now I got to give it to to Texas Tech because they always play Texas hard. But I just think Texas is coming off of an expected win, but I mean, I think they're on a high right now. They feel like, they got a little bit of their swagger back, and I look for them to exploit that in the Big 12, starting with, this a team who is statistically lesser in Texas Tech. So if we're looking at points, I'm thinking Texas is going to pitch a pretty high whooping on them. I got a 35-17 Texas.
We are right there. I got Texas 38, Texas Tech 17. Yeah, we're right on the ball there. Yeah, I agree. I see Texas. They're riding high. I think they found their quarterback. I think they've got one of the, besides West Virginia, they still got one of the best running games out there too.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see it shine this weekend at Texas Tech. So it'll be, I agree, 38-17. So that's a pretty good pick. All right. Next up, the battle of the private schools, the Methodists against the Christians. Southern Methodist, SMU at TCU.
Man, I got TCU. TCU they're not. This is a rough one, man.
Tanner Mordecai looked really good last week at SMU.
Yeah.
Looked really good. Former Sooner player, so
I'm gonna still have to go with TCU, man. I'm gonna go. I think this is gonna be a field goal game. I'm gonna go TCU 24 and SMU 21.
I too agree with the field goal outcome. However, I got the Pony Express 34. Running over the Horned Frogs at 31.
Okay.
I'm ready. I am ready for one of my upsets to actually stick this year. I think they're both evenly matched right now. SMU's not the pushover that they used to be. I think they're very evenly matched, and I just got SMU winning with that field goal right there at the end. SMU 34, TCU 31.
Okay.
Yeah. I do agree with the field goal though. So we're I think we're getting better at our picks. No, I kid. All right.
If I'm not mistaken, I was 5-0 last week. I'm just.
No, you were 5 and well, we'll get to that here in a minute. You were better at college than me. You were 5-0 in college. No, I think you were 4-1 in college, right?
No, I was 5-0.
I wrote it down. Yeah, you were 5-0. You lost 4 in NFL.
Yeah. Oh my God, NFL. This is why I don't gamble.
Okay? We'll get to that here. Okay, so I got Iowa State going into Baylor. This is like we said. This is where we see who's who in the Big 12.
Yeah.
This is why I have Baylor low.
Yeah, I mean Baylor is my number 7 ranked team in there, and like we talked, interchangeable. If their defense can slow Iowa State, they're not going to stop them. But if their defense can give their offense some time, it's going to be a good game. If not, I mean, Iowa State is going to blow the doors off of them. I do think Iowa State is going to win. I do think Iowa State is going to put some points up. I think Iowa State's going to score 28, and Baylor, I'm giving Baylor 21.
Woo! All right. I got Iowa State winning, and I had to sit here and go back and forth. If Purdy can hold on to the ball, they're going to put up more points. If he doesn't, it's going to be a close game. So I kind of went the average of both. I kind of went with averaging it out, and I'm almost right there with you. I went Iowa State 35, Baylor 24. I still think Baylor has a pretty good offense where they can put up some points, no matter who they're playing. And so I got Iowa State 35, Baylor 24. All right, next up, we got the NCAA basketball championship game of the week. We got Kansas at Duke. I got Kansas 65, Duke 66. No, I kid. What is this is like the worst. Again, I don't know. I almost just said push on this. I'm gonna let you, the fans, decide who wins this game. I can't believe we're talking about Kansas football. Well, let's do it. What do you got, Kansas and Duke?
Man, I'm almost betting on the 3-pointer and giving it to Duke. So
Dookie's hit one from the arc and winning with 1 second left with a.
The problems of Kansas. Their who should have been their starting running back has now asked for a trade. What's his name?
You get that weird. You get that.
Yeah, but yeah, he's asked for a trade, so he's trade portal. When people start jumping off the ship, everybody else starts wondering if it's sinking instead of getting it to where it's going. So I don't even know if I'm going to call this a surprise upset, but I'm going to pick Duke. I think it's going to be an awful game. But again, I'm thinking it's going to be one of them field goal wins. So I'm going to go 17-14 Duke over Kansas.
You're giving Kansas much more credit than I am, my friend. I do have Duke winning as well. It is going to be a garbage game. It's going to be a horrible game. It's not going to be fun at all. So I got Duke 21, Kansas 10. And I think I'm even being generous to Kansas as well. You said it earlier in the broadcast. It's a team without vision. It's a team without identity. And if it, like I said, if it wasn't for their basketball team, this team would be in Division II mediocrity, as far as I can. They just don't have a football team. All right, here comes what the last two are some of the toughest games. Hard to pick. Let's go Kansas State at Oklahoma State. They are playing in Stillwater. Stillwater is a tough place to play, as always. What you got?
Kansas State. I mean, I got KSU over OSU. We're still talking about a team that I mean, their identity is their coach.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about OSU, you don't talk about any of the players. You talk about Gundy. It's Jeff Gundy all day, every day. When the mullet is more important than the men, you got problems like we've talked about. I think it's going to be I think they're going to fight. You know, the guys are going to fight. It's a Big 12 game. They don't want to lose. Kansas State is ranked. It's an opportunity for them to, you know, knock them out of the rankings. But I think Kansas State is going to hold on. I think it's going to be 28-24.
Oh, man, I agree with you on Gundy. Like I said, Oklahoma State fans, the best thing you can do is tell Gundy to leave and get a good coach. Gundy is done. I don't think he cares anymore.
No.
He doesn't recruit anymore. At least this is what I'm seeing in the recruiting. As I read the magazines, as I look at the boards, this guy is. I get it. He's an alumni, and he has the best winning percentage, but that can only last so long. I think he's run his course. It isn't Stillwater, but I picked Kansas State as well. 31-28, another field goal. I don't know how much longer the luck can hold out for the Cowboys in this division. I don't know. I want the Cowboys to win. I want them to succeed. I just don't know if you can do it. I really don't know if you can do it with Gundy anymore. Again, write your letter to the athletic director. Tell them to send him to USC, and let's get somebody in here at Oklahoma State that wants to coach and wants to get these boys winning again.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, you bring up a good point about Gundy not recruiting him. It just goes back to what we say. He expects them to come to him because he is Gundy, which just reinforces our point that, you know, that each of us has made, that he's gone Hollywood and he thinks that football team revolves around him, and it's hurt them in recruiting big time. So
I don't care how many uniform combinations you have, folks. I don't care how many uniform combinations you have. It's not helping. If you think it's a recruiting tool, it is not working.
Yeah, because none of them are as nice as Oregon's anyway.
Yeah, it's not working. It's not working, at least in Stillwater right now. He's not. Yeah. When you're recruiting steadily in the 30s and the 40s, it's not working. The uniform combinations is not working. Something is amiss in recruiting right now.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. The biggie. West Virginia coming into OU.
You know what? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I think West Virginia is gonna upset OU. I think OU has been, you know, what did Charlie Murphy say? You know, they've been habitually half stepping.
Charlie,
you know,
yeah.
And I think they're gonna get it, man. I think this is gonna be their wake up. You know, sort of like Arkansas was to Texas. But I think West Virginia is gonna come in there. I think they're gonna win by a field goal. I expect it to be 20-17.
All right.
West Virginia.
All right. Again, we're on the field goal. And I don't know what my fans are going to say about me. I don't know what, but as a talk show host right now, as a radio, as a Big 12 spokesman, I can't be biased. I have West Virginia coming into Norman, beating Oklahoma 34-31. I agree with the field goal. I think Oklahoma is going to get their wake-up call. Now, come Saturday, it's going to be Go Boomer Sooner all day long on my Facebook page. But as trying to be as realistic as I possibly can, and to actually call what I see, I think West Virginia's running game will destroy OU's defense this weekend, and I think West Virginia wins 34-31 over OU. And that, my friends, is my Big 12 lock of the week right there.
Uh-oh.
I'm locking it in. They got OU at 16-point favorite. There is no way. Let me put it to you as an Oklahoma fan, what I know. Anytime OU is 14-point favorite or more, they either win by 7 or less, or they lose.
Okay.
I'm going with the odds here. Every time OU is 14-point favorites or more, the majority of the time, I can't give you actual percentage, but the majority of the time, they'll either win by 7 or less, or they lose. That's wow. Being realistic, folks. I love my Sooner team, but I got to be realistic here and call it like I see it. And West Virginia comes in and upsets OU. And that is your Big 12 games of the week. I can't do that. I'll get copyrighted here. I didn't do that. No, don't tell ESPN on me. All right, so we're getting to it. I still right now hold a 1-game lead. Had you not taken Detroit, had you win with Green Bay, we'd be sitting at a tie right now. Because I was sitting there biting my nails the whole time I was going through these scores and everything. I was like, oh, he's going to destroy me. Because college, I was poop. I was poop. I was 2-3 in college. No, I was 1-4 in college. I was I was right 2-3, and then I was 3-2 in pro. You were 5-0. No, yeah, 5-0.
5-0 in college.
Yeah, and you won 1 pro and lost 4 pro.
Yeah.
So, standings, ladies and gentlemen, as they stand right now, the belt is still coming to Norman, Oklahoma, the Sooners, 14-6 to 13-7. Unless I made some numbers wrong, double check me. I got me 14-6, you 13-7, but I could be wrong. It could be tied. Don't hold me to that. I was in a hurry the last couple of days, so I might have missed my numbers. So I will double check. But as of right now, and I will, if I'm wrong, I will put it out on Facebook that I was wrong, and I will give the correct. Because there was one where I couldn't quite remember what you said, and I was trying to remember it, and I may have missed that one. So we either tied or I miscounted. So we'll get the correct number. So
okay.
Do you have something different?
No, I don't.
Okay. You were looking at me like I was crazy, but
no.
If I'm wrong, folks, I will apologize to Vern on public broadcasting Facebook station, whatever this is, and I will give the correct thing. All right, so I picked some good games and some not so good games. This is just going to be all straight up this week. We did points with the big boys there in the Big 12. This week we're going straight up. I will say, you thought I was crazy when I said Alabama wins by 2 points over Florida, and the final score was a 2-point margin.
Yeah. It's a lot of right now experiencing the Saban effect because they don't look invulnerable. Invincible like they usually do. These dudes look like they can be got. And Saban does not like that.
And anybody watching can tell me I'm wrong. I just don't. Alabama's still the number one team. But I'm just not seeing a dominant team out there right now. Yeah, I get it. It was Florida.
It was a 2-point game. Maybe they are dominant. I don't know. But they sure did not look, because I guarantee you Saban was pulling his hair out during that game, and he knew and he thought he was going to lose that game. The SEC is tough. I give it to you. The Big Ten, I don't know if they're tough this year. The best two teams right now, Iowa and Penn State. Oregon's going to run away with the Pac-12 now because old boy from Utah decided he just wanted to quit because he wasn't going to start anymore. I don't know what the Big 12 is. I honestly don't know what the Big 12 is. And the ACC is just somebody showed me something. I still got Clemson winning, but that's another, like the Big 12. There's just, what the hell? What is going on over there? Florida State? Hello? Florida State, are you out there?
Florida State hasn't been there for a while.
So it's the national scene, man. I don't know if there's a dominant team other than, I mean, we're going to say it right now. Everybody has what their top 10 is and who's overrated, who's underrated. This, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is why giving polls at the beginning of the season is ridiculous. You need to get 5 games into a season before you even start putting out coaches and media polls and ESPN power rankings and all that.
Yeah.
It needs to be 5 games in, because I'm telling you right now, everybody that we thought was going to be awesome and just destroying up this field this year looks like secondhand smoke. That's my rant. You got any rants?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, so let's look at who was it? Number 10, North Carolina. I mean, before the season starts, another historic, basketball school. They got a great coach, historic. A namesake coach. But ranked number 10, they get blown out game 1, and they haven't recovered. I mean, Texas, they got us ranked, and everything, and then go to Arkansas and you get beat down, and not only that, I mean, and then you got beat by a team you're going to be seeing, on a regular basis, because making a big Big 12 to get to that division, to that league and that conference. So. Yeah. I gotta move. I'm sorry. There's a lot going on downstairs.
This commercial is brought to you by Trojans. I mean, I kid. Yeah, I almost never want to do a preseason ranking. I almost never want to do a Heisman ranking, just for this reason alone right here. I never want to do it. All right, let's get into our games. First up, we've got Notre Dame at Wisconsin. Irish against the Badgers. Straight up.
Wow. I'm going to have to give it to Notre Dame.
All right.
I mean.
Yeah,
I think their offense will outlast Wisconsin's defense.
I agree. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to, but Notre Dame's going to put just a little bit more points on the board.
Yeah. Just
a little bit more points on the board. And I'm going to go with you as well. Notre Dame wins this one. All right. Can lightning strike twice? Can Arkansas defeat another Texas team? Can Texas A&M at Arkansas? Who wins that one?
Oh, A&M.
You think so? Even with their starting quarterback out?
Yeah, because A&M is if I had to pick a team in the SEC that was on the same level as Alabama as far as bringing in back end talent, future talent, I have to give it to SEC,
Okay.
or excuse me, to Texas A&M.
All right.
So I expect their offense to flow, not as seamlessly as it has been, but it's going to flow, and they're going to win that game.
Well, my friend,
Defense beats Arkansas.
Yeah. As much as I hate to say it, I'm going with Arkansas. I was high on Texas A&M at the beginning of the season, but that quarterback out, I'm scared, and I shouldn't say I'm scared, but still hasn't shown me enough yet that he can go in and be steady. But I got it a close game. I really do. I got it a field goal. I got Arkansas 34, Texas A&M 31.
Okay.
So I'm taking Arkansas. I'm probably wrong. I'm wrong on most of my picks, people. And too bad Finn's not here to rub it in my face. Or maybe you are out there, Finn. I don't know. But I'm taking Arkansas this week. I feel like going for the underdog just once in my life. All right. Here's another I just don't know game. UCLA at Stanford.
Ooh.
And this could go either way.
I'm going to give that one to UCLA. We just talked about Stanford getting beat by K-State.
Yeah. I am with you as well. I know they didn't show up against Fresno State. Fresno State kind of drubbed UCLA. However, I think UCLA is just a little bit better than Stanford. But I got it a 1-point game. I got it 28-27.
Okay.
I know we're not giving points, but
I can see an extremely close game. 1 to 3 points.
So I got it a 1-point game and so we both are going with UCLA. I think this next one's a no-brainer. Nebraska at Michigan State. The Sparties might be for real. They might be the third best team in the Big Ten right now.
Man, Nebraska was impressive last week. I'm gonna go with Nebraska.
Okay. Good call. I debated on this one for a while today. But ultimately I'm gonna go with the Sparties. They're looking good. I don't know. I'll tell you this, Scott Frost, I don't care what anybody else says about him. After what he said after the game on Saturday, changed my whole opinion about him. A class act, in my opinion. He loves Nebraska football. He loves his Nebraska kids. As much as I want to pull for Nebraska in this game, I'm going to go with Michigan State.
Ooh.
All right, and last but not least for our college games. I figure this one ought to be a pretty easy one for us to figure out. Arizona going into Oregon.
Oh, Oregon. Oregon.
Yeah. I already had it marked down before we.
Yeah, Oregon all day.
Yeah, they're no doubt in my mind. All right, so that's our college picks of the week. Now it's time for a little bit of NFL. Man, I'll tell you who's impressive as heck right now. And that is that Arizona Cardinals offense.
Wow.
Murray, and I'm not being a homer for Murray or anything like that. That entire offense looks good. Murray looks good. I have to say it. The defense, the Cardinals, and I was talking with my buddy, I don't know if you watched the last NFL, that division is so tough to predict this year. Seattle, Arizona, the Cards, and the Rams. That is a tough division. That is most likely the hardest division in NFC football this year, folks. So in honor of that Cardinals team, I picked them as the first game of this week because we haven't talked a lot about Sunshine and Urban Meyer. And after his comments about the first 2 games feeling like he's playing Nebraska every game, or excuse me, he's playing Alabama every game when he's in the pros. So our first game up is Cards versus the Jags.
All right, AZ versus the Jags.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is not going to succeed. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to be an outstanding quarterback for the NFL for a long time. Urban Meyer, folks, is not a professional football team coach. He's one and done. Mark my word right here. I said it a couple weeks ago. I'm going to say it right here. Urban Meyer's one and done.
I don't think he's going to be one and done. Urban Meyer just seems like the guy who's got too much ego to come in and not do well in the first year and then bail out. Because then that on the back end, that's going to make him look bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's why if they keep him, he'll stick around. I do agree with you. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a good quarterback for a long time. Part of the problem over there as well is, I mean, Jacksonville's in a rebuild. And you bring in a rookie coaching staff and a rookie quarterback, you're in a rebuild, you're going to suffer like this. Where Urban Meyer messed up is he brought all of his college coordinators with him to the pros. Yep. You don't bring a bunch of boxers to a gunfight, man. Like, if you're going to go up, you're a boxer, and you got to fight a gunslinger, you better bring somebody you can put in as the gunslinger, So if he's going to be successful in the pros, he's got to either needs to send his coordinators somewhere to learn from some NFL caliber quarterbacks. He needs to bring in a consultant to teach these guys, or he just needs to get rid of them and move on to professional coordinators because they are not an NFL caliber coaching staff.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, who you got?
Oh, Arizona, like easy.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna almost be embarrassing.
I agree. It's looking good for the Cards as well. I picked them as well, and again, I don't know. I like Urban Meyer. Don't get me wrong. I just like you said, you don't bring boxers to a gunfight. If it's just but that's my bold prediction. I just think he's one and done. I'm not high on him. He's probably going to end up going to Los Angeles and taking over USC. That's just a guess. I'm guessing. I don't have any inside knowledge on that or anything. But I don't know. And you might be right. His ego might keep him around for a couple more years. All right, we got next up Browns versus the Bears.
Cleveland.
Dalton went down in Cleveland. Fields is now the number 1. I knew that was good. Anybody that puts their money on Dalton finishing a full season, I want you to raise your hand up high. Raise your hand up high. Then I want you to turn your hand in, make your arm at a 45-degree angle. Then I want you to repeatedly come down and slap yourself in the face because Dalton is never going to finish a season. He's not Chicago. I don't know why you even bet on him to even be your starting core. I'm just done. All right, I'm Stephen A in it again.
So Chicago, and I think Andy went into this situation knowing it. Chicago didn't pick him to be their starting quarterback.
That's a transition.
As fragile as he is, the guy is really, really smart.
Yeah,
and he's a very good choice to teach this kid offense and defense. And I think that's what you'll see if he's on the sideline this weekend. He's going to be sitting right next to Fields, and he's going to be telling him, like, I see Dalton as a future offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that. Now he's got football smarts. He does. Yep. My only problem with him is he's injury prone.
Yep, and everybody knows that. He wasn't there to win it. Look, you put Fields in the perfect situation. And you put Dalton in the perfect situation. You look at Andy and you say, hey, Andy, you're our starter for the year. And they've even come out and said when Dalton comes back, Dalton's going to start. When he comes back, if he comes back. You tell Dalton, you're my starter for the year. But in the back of your head, in the back of Dalton's head, he knows I'm going to get hit. And at some point in time this season, I'm going to get injured and I'm going to be out. But, hey, the ride is mine until that happens.
I do like Fields as a quarterback, though. I do. And he's got a good mentor. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Andy Dalton's football knowledge. He's a smart football guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's a couple guys that I would want Fields to learn from, and this is one of them. It really is. And I expect a big future in Chicago for Fields. I like the kid. But I got to give it to the Browns as well, man. Now,
I think Odell's back this week too, so I think
they lost Jarvis Landry, but I think Odell's back, so that'll open it up a little bit. I don't know how long Jarvis Landry is out. I haven't got an update on that, but I know he was out the rest of the Texans game, so we'll see. We'll find out. All right, so because we can't go a week without having a dumpster fire in both college and NFL, the battle of the worst teams in the NFL right now, Falcons versus the Giants. Take your pick, folks. This is going to be I don't know. I don't even know.
And, it's just so sad to see how far the Falcons have fallen. I feel so bad for Matty Ice, man, because dude, he's class act quarterback. One of those quarterbacks in the same kind of cut from the same cloth as Peyton Manning. You don't hear his teammates bad mouthing him. He doesn't. He just seems to do everything right. He seems to represent the team, the NFL, the sport, like everything. He just seems to do it right. And he went from having probably the most dominant receiver, an offensive line, running backs. Like he had everything he needed. But they just they couldn't finish. And then it was just like, all right, well, hey, Julio's going to go to Tennessee, and we're just going to get rid of everybody else, Andy. We're just going to see what happens. And that's kind of where they're at, man. It's what Calvin Ridley is still there, and Andy and Calvin hang out.
That's it.
The Giants are another rebuild team. I don't know why they have Saquon on a for lack of a better phrase, a pitch count, because the dude seems like he's healthy. He said he's healthy. Let him run until he tells you, I need you to slow me down, because if there's a game where they need to let him run, it's this one, because Atlanta's defense is atrocious. So, I got the Giants. As much as I hate the Giants are going to win anything.
I too took the Giants. I just think even if they only let Saquon run the ball 15 times, that's going to be 15 really good runs against that atrocious defense. And as long as Jones can stay on when he gets in the open field and doesn't get tripped by the grass monster, my goodness, dude, get some new shoes or don't get so excited when you break away for a big run. The dude's got wheels. Don't get me wrong. But that dude will get tripped up by the yard line marker before a tackler will even get near him. But, I got the Giants winning.
Let me ask you this. So you brought up a point that had me agitated last week, mainly because of fancy. Jones runs the ball an awful lot. If I'm not mistaken, last week he ran the ball more than Saquon.
Yeah, he did.
All right. Who is New York's backup quarterback?
I couldn't even tell you right now.
Exactly. Why running Jones all over the place when you?
Well, he's calling it. They run a almost RPO, if I'm not mistaken. They're kind of running the RPO, and he's calling his number. And I get it. The defense is when you run an RPO, the defense dictates. But there's still times where he could have handed off to say when we got off the show and I was watching that game. There were times he could have handed off to Saquon instead of keeping his down on self. He calls his number more a lot, and I get it. I mean, I shouldn't say I get it. I don't get it. Dude, you're not Kyler Murray. You're not.
No.
You're not. Man, you're not even Cam Newton, and Cam Newton's not even playing right now. You're not even him. Stay where you don't get hurt, because I don't even know who your backup is, like Vern brought up. Good point, man. Oh, down to the last two. I made this a hard one. Bucks, Rams. Potential NFC championship game this year. Potential. Bucks, Rams.
Man. Tampa Bay or the Rams.
Stafford.
You know what?
And what's his name? Tupper.
Cooper Kupp.
That dude is a monster. I need to pick him up on a fantasy league.
Losing juice.
I got you.
Yeah. Can't find my.
I'm getting there. That's why we gotta get down to the last two games.
So I'm gonna go with the Rams. You can see how excited Stafford is to be in LA and to have more than one option and more than 3 seconds to throw the football. And they love him. Like, they love him in LA. Those offensive linemen are like, it's almost like watching, Brady's offensive linemen. Like, like, hey, this dude is going to take us where we've been trying to go. Do not let him get hit. So I'm going to go with the Rams, man.
I am too going with the Rams. Oh, this might be a first, ladies and gentlemen. This might be a first where Vern and I take it's yeah, I mean, we're going to take it, because the last game, you got to have a Monday Night Football game in there, folks. And you got to have one of the best matchups of the NFC East in there, folks. And you got to have Cowboys versus Eagles always in your picks.
Yeah.
And I already know where me and Vern are going.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles, I do not know what in the world what world they were playing on, what continent they were playing on Sunday, because they did not look good at all. Now, I said, I know San Francisco's defense is stingy. I know it, but I do not know even what continent they and man, I mean, I'm not saying it was a huge blowout but they didn't look good. They just did not look good.
No, they did not.
What you got? Cowboys or Eagles? Should I even ask?
I got the Cowboys, man.
All right. I too have the Cowboys. And that's our picks for the weeks, folks. If you're keeping score, if you're taking your own picks, please let us know in the comments. Let us know if we're right. Let us know if we're wrong. Finn, if you're out there, come over to my side for once, buddy. I know you like Vern's picks. I know you do. But come over to my side. Give me some love, Finn. Any closing words tonight, buddy?
I'm excited. I'm excited with pro football again. I mean, we went through last year, and it was you're happy it was there for distraction. The year before was all about the knee, like we're kneeling, and everybody's mad. I don't want to, but this year it's just football. Football is football. Football is entertainment. Football is, and it just seems like it's being played, and athletes, as talented as they are, they are entertainers, not politicians. Politicians don't put on helmets. They don't put on pads. They don't swing bats. They don't dunk balls or anything like that. And just to be able to watch these games again and see football is refreshing, man. And it's surprising. Like some games that you think like, I know what's going to happen. I know who's going to be this, just being surprised is great. I mean, we had New Orleans first week. Jameis Winston comes out and he looked like a monster throwing the football. And then last
Reverse
week,
back to Jameis.
yeah, like he had blinders on throwing the football around. It's crazy, but it's like it was great. And then you flip it around, you got Aaron Rodgers who just looked disinterested, the first week, and he came out and was the same old gunslinger, And granted, he was playing Detroit, but
he looked normal. After the second half, he came out and looked like himself again. Whether, like I said, whether we think he's trying out for jeopardy or trying out for the Denver Broncos, or whatever the case may be, he looked good. I agree.
Yeah, and then lastly, I'll agree with a point you keep making is back to college, man. Rankings, the pre-proof hype. I mean, it's got to stop. It needs to stop. Earn your rankings, but earning a ranking and play, 3 games, 5 games, however many. I think 3 games is enough to get a measuring stick and then make your rankings, and still have plenty of time for these guys to do what they need to do. Because ultimately, like we also talked about, we know, there's a group of eight football teams that 2 of those are always going to be in the playoffs because they make the most money. Yep. So make these guys earn it, Stop with the preseason hype. Stop with the preseason trying to sell. Make these guys earn their rankings and go from there. Because you're going to have these teams in the beginning. You are going to have the surprise teams that are not going to get that shot because they're not ranked. And if they're not ranked, they're not in the coaches' minds, and they're going to be forgotten. So
yeah, I agree. But good words. I just got to finish with this, and listen up, fans, and non-fans or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of parity now. There is a lot of parity. This transfer portal has left almost like a professional football team, and you're going to start seeing parity. Maybe that's what's going on in the college ranks. Not every team is going. Your team is not always going to hang a half 100. Your team, they're just not. Yeah. There's going to be teams that are going to win. But at the end of the day, a win is a win, whether it's by 50 or whether it's by 1. A win is a win. I know what we expect as fans, whether we're sitting in our air conditioning homes, in our rocking chairs, or we're out at the field in the game. We expect our teams to win by a lot. But there's parity now. And yes, you can recruit all these good teams, and it's going to happen. But at some point or another, a player's going to get mad. They might not be the Alabamas. They might not be the Oklahomas, but they're going to get mad, and they're going to go to another team where they can play. And you're going to start seeing parity. Again, Dash's opinion. What do I know? Look what's behind me. Look where I sit. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Red River Football Show. I'm your host, Dash, your host, Vern. We will be back next Thursday with more college football, some more antics, some more jokes, maybe some more football picks. I don't know if we have. No, we definitely have time. I love you guys for coming out. Please join with us. I know it's a long show, but it's fun. It's better than sports talk radio, like I said, because there's no commercials. So, but thanks for coming out, Vern. I miss you, buddy. I'm glad we get to do this almost on, I get to almost see you almost every day now, so it's awesome. So, peace.
Yeah. Thank you.
You guys have a wonderful good night, and we'll see you next Thursday. Out.